Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've got something huge to share with you today, and trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one. Picture this. You're sitting down with your morning coffee, checking the news, and you stumble across a headline that says, HMRC confirms new 400 pension bonus for seniors today. Your ears perk up, right? A 400 bonus for seniors? That's the kind of news that could change someone's day, or even their year. But here's the thing. When I first saw this, I thought, is this for real? Or is it just another headline designed to grab attention? So I dove deep into the details, and what I found is pretty intriguing. In this video, we're going to unpack this so-called 400 pension bonus, figure out what's actually going on, and see who might benefit. Whether you're a pensioner planning for retirement or just curious about what's happening with pensions in the UK, this is for you. So grab a cuppa, get comfy, and let's get into it. Now, before we dive into the nitty-gritty, let me set the stage a bit. Pensions are a big deal, aren't they? They're the safety net we all hope will catch us when we're ready to slow down, enjoy life, and maybe take that dream holiday we've been putting off. But the world of pensions can feel like a maze sometimes. Tax codes, contribution rates, government policies, and all sorts of jargon that make your head spin. And when you hear something like 400 pension bonus, it's natural to wonder if it's a genuine windfall or just a catchy phrase that doesn't quite live up to the hype. That's exactly what we're going to explore today. I've done the research, sifted through the latest updates, and I'm here to break it all down in a way that makes sense. We'll look at where this $400 figure is coming from, who qualifies, and what it means for seniors across the UK. Plus, I'll throw in some insights about the bigger picture of pensions and why this kind of news matters. Let's start with the headline itself. HMRC confirms new 400 pension bonus for seniors today. It sounds exciting, doesn't it? But here's the reality check. There's no direct evidence in recent HMRC announcements or government publications confirming a specific $400 pension bonus for seniors as of today, August 29, 2025. I know that might feel like a bit of a letdown, but hear me out. Sometimes headlines like this float around to grab attention, and they might be based on partial truths, misinterpretations, or even older policies repackaged as new. So, while there's no explicit $400 bonus tied to a single HMRC announcement today, there are some related developments in the pension world that could explain where this idea is coming from. Let's dig into those because there's still plenty to talk about when it comes to boosting pension income for seniors. First, let's consider the broader context of pensions in the UK. The state pension is the backbone for many retirees, providing a steady income based on your national insurance contributions over your working life. As of April 2025, the state pension got a boost, with the new state pension rising by 4.1% to $230.25 per week, up from $221.20, and the basic state pension increasing to $176.45 per week. That's thanks to the triple lock policy, which ensures the state pension rises by the highest of inflation, average earnings, or 2.5%. This year, the 4.1% increase was tied to average weekly earnings, which is great news for pensioners. But here's where things get interesting. While this increase adds up to more money over the year, it's not a lump sum bonus like the headline suggests. For someone on the new state pension, that 4.1% increase translates to about $470 extra over the year compared to last year's rate. Could this be where the $400 figure is coming from? It's possible that some sources are rounding down or framing this annual boost as a bonus to make it sound snappier. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's nice, but what about an actual $400 payment? Well, there's another angle we need to explore: the winter fuel payment and the pensioner cost of living payment. These are government initiatives designed to help seniors with their energy bills, especially during the colder months. Back in 2023 and 2024, the winter fuel payment included an additional pensioner cost of living payment, which ranged from $150 to $300 depending on your circumstances, like your age and whether you live alone. For example, if you were born before September 25, 1957, You might have received up to $600 in total for winter 2023-2024, combining the standard winter fuel payment with the cost of living top-up. Now here's where it gets relevant. In June 2025, the government made a significant U-turn on the winter fuel payment. Initially, they planned to limit it to pensioners on certain benefits, like pension credit, but after public backlash, they expanded eligibility to pensioners in England and Wales with an annual income below $35,000. That change meant more seniors could receive payments, which could be worth up to $300 or more in some cases. It's not a stretch to imagine someone conflating this with a $400 bonus, especially if they're adding up multiple payments or misinterpreting the total value over time. But let's be real for a second. Headlines like this can sometimes exaggerate or oversimplify things to get clicks. So I went digging further to see if there's anything else that might explain this $400 figure. Another possibility lies in HMRC's efforts to help people boost their state pension through voluntary national insurance contributions. This is a big one, so listen up. Until April 5th, 2025, there's a special window for people to fill gaps in their national insurance record going back to 2006. Normally, you can only top up the last 6 tax years, but this extended deadline applies to men born after April 6, 1951, and women born after April 6, 1953. Why does this matter? Because topping up your national insurance record can increase your state pension significantly. For example, adding 1 year to your record might cost around $824, but it could boost your annual pension by about $275. Over 10 years of retirement, that's $2,750 for a single year's contribution. Now here's where the $400 figure might sneak in. If someone's talking about the cumulative benefit of topping up, or if they're estimating the short-term gain, they might frame it as a bonus. It's not a direct $400 payment, but it's a way to increase your pension that could feel like a windfall. Let's pivot to another area where extra cash might come into play: pension tax relief. This is a topic that doesn't get enough attention, but it's a game changer for some seniors. If you're a higher or additional rate taxpayer contributing to a personal pension, you can claim extra tax relief through your self-assessment tax return. Here's how it works. When you pay into a pension, the government automatically adds 20% tax relief. So if you contribute $400 a month, the government chips in $100, making it $500. But if you're a higher rate taxpayer, you're entitled to an additional 20% relief, which you have to claim yourself. For someone paying $400 a month, that's an extra $100 per month or $200 a year. That could go into your pension pot. Over 40 years, that could add up to $108,000 or more, depending on investment growth. Now imagine a news outlet getting wind of this and calling it a pension bonus for seniors who are savvy enough to claim it. It's not a new policy, but with HMRC recently urging people to take advantage of this relief, it could be making headlines again. So where does this leave us? We've got a few threads here: the state pension increase, the winter fuel payment changes, voluntary national insurance contributions, and pension tax relief. Each of these could be spun into a story about a $400 pension bonus, but none of them quite match the headline exactly. My guess? The 400 figure is likely a mix of these elements, possibly exaggerated or simplified to sound more exciting. It's also worth noting that pension-related headlines can sometimes be a magnet for scammers. HMRC has warned about fraudsters pretending to be them, especially when new policies or payments are announced. If you get an unsolicited call or email about a pension bonus, treat it with serious caution. Always check official sources like Gov.uk or contact HMRC directly through verified channels. Let's zoom out for a moment and talk about why this kind of news resonates so much. For a lot of seniors, every extra pound counts. The cost of living has been a real challenge in recent years. Energy bills, groceries, you name it. Policies like the winter fuel payment or state pension increases aren't just numbers on a page, they're lifelines for people trying to make ends meet. That's why headlines about bonuses or extra payments get so much attention. They tap into a real need. but it's also why we have to be careful not to get swept up in the hype. The UK pension system is complex, with layers of rules about who qualifies for what. For example, the winter fuel payment change to a $35,000 income threshold sounds great, but it's going to be clawed back through taxes for some pensioners, which reduces the net benefit. And the national insurance top-up opportunity is fantastic, but it requires upfront cash that not everyone has lying around. Speaking of complexity, let's touch on some recent pension scheme changes that might be adding to the chatter. The NHS pension scheme, for instance, got some updates in April 2025 that affect how contributions are calculated for GPs and other members. There's also been talk about top-up payments for low earners in net pay pension schemes, where the government is planning to offer around $70 a year to about 1 million people starting in 2026. These aren't $400 bonuses, but they're examples of how the government and HMRC are tweaking the system to support pensioners. Another big change is the abolition of the lifetime allowance, which used to cap how much you could save in a pension without extra tax. That's gone now, which could mean bigger pension pots for some, but it's not a direct cash payment either. All these moving parts show how pensions are constantly evolving, and it's easy to see how a specific figure like $400 could get thrown around in the mix. Now, if you're a senior watching this, you might be wondering, okay, how do I make sure I'm getting everything I'm entitled to? That's a great question, and I've got a few tips to share. First, check your state pension forecast on Gov.uk. It's a free tool that shows how much you're on track to receive and whether you have gaps in your national insurance record. If you do, consider whether topping up makes sense for you before the April 2025 deadline. Second, if you're a higher rate taxpayer with a personal pension, double-check that you're claiming all your tax relief. You might need to file a self-assessment return or contact HMRC directly. Third, if you're eligible for benefits like pension credit or the winter fuel payment, make sure you've applied. Pension credit, for example, can top up your income significantly, and it's a gateway to other support like the winter fuel payment. Finally, stay skeptical of any too-good-to-be-true offers. If someone's promising you a $400 bonus out of the blue, it's probably not legit. As we wrap up, I want to reflect on what this all means. Pensions are more than just money. They're about security, dignity, and the ability to enjoy your later years without constant worry. The idea of a $400 pension bonus is exciting because it represents a little extra breathing room for seniors. Even if the headline doesn't tell the whole story, it's a reminder that there are ways to boost your pension, whether through government payments, tax relief, or topping up contributions. The key is to stay informed and proactive. Check your entitlements, ask questions, and don't be afraid to seek advice from a financial advisor if you're unsure. The pension system can feel like a puzzle, but every piece you put in place gets you closer to a more comfortable retirement. So, there you have it, the full scoop on this $400 pension bonus headline. It's not quite as simple as it sounds, but there are real opportunities out there to increase your pension income. I hope this video has cleared things up and given you some ideas to explore. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments if you've come across any other pension tips or questions. Maybe you're a pensioner who's navigated the system, or maybe you're planning for the future. Either way, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care and keep looking out for those opportunities to secure your financial future. See you soon.